Thank you very much. Um, I like to start by congratulating my friend. I didn't know that she was this loaded. We had great dreams, great visions of what the future will be. And she will do that, and then do that, and then do that. But I think she has brought her sheep to land so that she can now follow Jesus the way he has ordained it. Thank you very much. I think this is the second anniversary. Yeah, this is the second one. And it cannot be more successful when you lend yourself as a tool in the hands of the Almighty God. Thank you, Auntie Kweju, for being such a blessing to this generation. I like, by extension, also thank your husband for being the power behind the button. Thank you, sir, for being such a support to Kweju. Thank you very much, sir. And then I can't start my comments without also thanking my very dear brother and friend who has also provided an enabling environment for a vision that looked like a mustard seed to thrive. Many pastors are very protective of their pulpit, protective of their facilities. And when you have a vision that looks so huge, so big, when they can't catch it, they kill it. Not this man. This is a great man, and I want us to celebrate him. We do celebrate you, sir, warmly. And thank you for creating a congenial environment, an atmosphere for this vision to thrive. What I will be sharing is rooted in the book of 1 Samuel 13. 1 Samuel 13. And I will read from verse 19. 1 Samuel 13 from verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel. For the Philistines said, "Lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears." But all the Israelites went down to the Philistines to sharpen every man his share, and his quota, and his axe, and his mattock. Yet they had a file for the mattocks, and for the quotas, and for the forks, and for the axes, to sharpen the goads. And so it came to pass in the day of battle that there was neither sword nor spear found in the hand of any of the people that were with Saul and Jonathan. But with Saul and Jonathan, his son, was there found. Very interesting story. The Philistines were engaged in battle, and they ambushed Israel and ensured that there were no blacksmiths scattered all through the land. They concentrated the sharpening of the axe and the mattocks at one point. The net effect of that was that in the day of battle, when the axe and the mattocks were blunt, they didn't have a sharpening point. It was only one, and that was a battle strategy employed by the Philistines to guarantee victory for themselves. So, when the battle was raging, the Israelites had fought and fought and fought and fought and fought. And then finally, they needed to sharpen. There was none. There was only one point of sharpening the mattock. The net effect of that, as you will see, was that there was a long queue of soldiers waiting to sharpen their mattock at just one point. And you can imagine the decisive victory that the Philistines had over Israel. How does that apply to missions? What is happening here today is like a point of sharpening our mattocks. And what we must do as a people is to replicate this in other places. So it's not just at the New Estate Baptist Church that we come once in a year to sharpen our mattock. There must be multiple centers of sharpening of our mattocks so that this work can be finished on time. And what the enemy does is to ensure that this kind of thing does not happen all over. There are not many churches where you find this kind of gathering. Thank God for what he's doing in our own local assembly, the little thing that we're doing there. I wish to God that will be replicated in all the churches in Nigeria. And this work will be done timeously, and it will be done quickly, and the king will appear. Because as you know, he's not going to come until everyone has had an opportunity to hear the gospel. This gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world as a witness to the nations, and then shall the end come. The end will not come until everyone has heard. What I've said in one simple language is that we must let this happen in our local churches. We must make this a ministry DNA wherever we find ourselves. Let's be busy doing something. Let's find our hearts, our hands engaged in something as productive as this. The spring, what do you call it? Pardon me? Wellspring ministry is an intervention I would like to recommend that we take back to our churches so that the devil does not line us up at one point where we have to all come to sharpen our mattock. We can do so at various points, and then we can give him a run for his money. The enemy will ensure that we are divided. He will ensure that our pastors will not cooperate with us. Not all pastors will be like Daddy here. Many of them are very protective of the pulpit, protective of what they believe is the assignment heaven has given to them, and they don't want to back down. I want to encourage you, if you have forgotten everything that we have learned here today, don't let's go into politics. Let's leave politics alone. The more serious issue is that this must not be a solo effort. It must not be something that is just happening here alone. And we must not leave this assignment to the mission agencies. In fact, the church is the most appropriate agent of spreading the gospel and taking the gospel to the last man standing. The mission agencies, they're just coordinating points to come, resource meetings like this, etc. But the real assignment rests with the church. And the church must take on and create many sharpening points of the mattock so that the devil does not ambush us and keep us on one single file trying to sharpen our mattock so that in the day of battle we're not able to respond intelligently, we're not able to respond quickly to him. My little charge is that let's create multiple sharpening points. And what we connected with here, I recommend, should not just be here. It should go around. There must be many more sharpening points where our mattocks and our axes are sharpened to battle down the evil one and bring the king in our time. Thank you very much.